Hi, everybody. This is Gad Saad for the SAAD TRUTH. Yesterday, I was watching a conversation between Tucker Carlson and Jorge Ramos regarding various issues dealing with illegal immigration. And it is truly remarkable to see how two people can completely talk past one another because they have absolutely no shared reality wherein they could meet to discuss the issue in question. Jorge is of the opinion that, well, these folks are coming into our country, yes, illegally, but then it is our fault because we are using them to raise our kids and take care of our gardens and whatever other examples he gave. And so ultimately, it is our responsibility, given that the noble illegal immigrants come in and are doing all of these jobs for us, we need to take care of them. And of course, in the case of Tucker Carlson, he comes from what I would call a deontological perspective. There is an absolute position in this case. You're not allowed to break the laws of the country that you're going into, and no amount of justification could ever be used to explain away the fact that you are breaking the law by coming into the country. And so it really is a question of whether you adhere to a consequentialist ethic, which Ramos is adhering to, which is, hey, look, they're coming in. Most of them are lovely people. They contribute to society. And ultimately, the net consequences of their original violation of the law is that there's a net benefit. And of course, that could be argued, but let's suppose that it is the case. That's what Ramos is arguing. And whereas Carlson is saying, no, you can't. I mean, countries have borders. That's what defines ultimately what a country is. And you can't simply violate that. And in watching them debate past one another, I then thought of, how would you tackle this issue from an evolutionary perspective, or what are some analogies you might draw from evolutionary theory to explain why many people feel violated by this tsunami of illegal immigration that they face. And so I had written the following set of comments yesterday on my social media, and so I thought that I would read them for you here. So here we go. Differential solicitude is a central evolutionary mechanism. Parents invest more in their children than in the children of random strangers. Spouses love one another more than they love random others, at least for long-term investments. Close friends, say army buddies, are willing to sacrifice their lives for one another more so than for random strangers. Maternal grandmothers invest more in their children than paternal grandfathers do, due to 2 generations of paternity uncertainty in the latter case. It is no surprise that this mechanism extends to nations, wherein by definition, citizens of a country are on average more likely to exhibit in-group affiliation with fellow citizens, more so than with non-citizens. Example, see the patriotic fervor that is engendered by the World Cup. You could be worldly whilst also being patriotic. Yet enemies of reason, quote, progressives who adhere to a globalist ethos rooted in nonsensical utopia platitudes, believe that national borders that otherwise serve as the central definition of a country are inherently a, quote, racist construct, albeit only if the national borders are those of a Western country. If Saudi Arabia wishes to keep Jews out as an official anti-Semitic policy, then, quote, progressives are silent. They invoke cultural relativism to justify this action. If Americans reject illegal immigration, well, they must be Nazis rooted in white supremacism. It is soul-crushing to see people being so parasitized by illiberal and illogical positions. I suppose that this will all be covered in my next book. And then I pointed to the fact that I would be doing a SAAD truth clip on this issue, which I'm doing here with. The bottom line is that laws matter. And when people break the laws, there should be consequences. I'm Canadian. I obtained my MS and my PhD at Cornell University in the United States. I was a visiting professor at Dartmouth, at UC Irvine, and at Cornell University. I'm the staunchest defender of the values of the United States. And yet, if I wish to come to the United States, I have to abide by certain laws, by certain rules. I can't simply choose to move to California and decide that's what I'm doing, and who cares about the laws? There are rules governing whether even Canadians, and Canadians with my profile, who you'd like to think are precisely the type of immigrants that you'd want to see in the United States, we have to adhere to rules. So why is it that I have to adhere to a rule, notwithstanding my deep desire to permanently relocate to Southern California, but others can say, no, I don't have to adhere to rules, I'm coming in. So, I mean, it doesn't take a Einstein or Newton to understand why the great majority of people are deeply aggrieved by this reality, and that sense of frustration and bewilderment at the acceptance of the tsunami of illegal immigration is somehow construed as racist, whereas the reality is that it is perfectly natural for people to be experiencing the types of emotions that they're experiencing. Again, this doesn't mean that some people who are anti-immigration don't have nefarious reasons for feeling these things. Of course, some people are inherently racist, and so they'll say things like, we don't want Mexicans here because fill in the blanks. But for most people who are just regular law-abiding people, it is perfectly normal for them to feel aggrieved that millions of people could make a mockery out of the laws of the land. There you have it, folks. I wish you all a great day. Talk to you soon. Cheers.